I'm almost to that bus stop. I'm not sure if I want to keep going. It's only like 2 more miles after the bus stop, but check this guy. I'm trying to clear out this log jam here. Wow, that's a lot of wood backed up there. There's supposed to be showers here, and I would imagine that they charge for it. But I could get a free shower in Newport anyway. Could do that tomorrow. So I might still walk. I'm not sure. But the bus stop is only a couple hundred yards, maybe a half mile at the most. So once I get there, I'll take a little break and I'll decide. Like I said, it'd only be cutting off about 2 miles. So we'll see. Feel like being lazy. But I've been walking in this rain all day. Hopefully I don't ruin the phone having it out. But I wanted to get that log jam on tape. But yeah, there's a whole list of things I need. I need some tent stakes. And I might get a bigger tarp. Sorry, just drank coffee. Burping it up. Whoa. I almost slipped in mud. Anyway, yeah, let me concentrate, put this phone away before I break it. So, Google Maps, what are you doing to me? Apparently that bus stop just does not exist. So, I'm still about 3 miles out right now. And I'm just taking a break. There's a little path that leads to the beach going down there, and going this way is the highway where there's a little you know, parking lot so people could stop. But anyway, I was saying earlier, I need a whole list of things. My boots are still good, but they're a little bit too broken in my one insole, and my pinky toe and this toe, whatever that's called, I have almost rubbed through the insole. So earlier, like yesterday or the day before, it was rubbing, the cloth on the insole lifted up and was rubbing my toe. So it's caused a little bit of a sore spot, not a blister yet, but it was a hot spot. So that's why I need the tape, and you know, I need the tape for the future use anyway. But so I might look into replacing the insole, because the boots are still good for now. I got them over the summer, and I've been hiking around, but I haven't put that many miles on it. So that's on the list. And then, oh geez, I could use a new poncho because this tear is getting bigger and bigger, but I might hold off on that. I mean, they're only like $4, and you could pick them up at almost anywhere, any camping or Walmart or wherever. I need to get good socks. Like Darn Tough socks are like, you know, #1 hiker recommended sock. And, you know, I've had them in the past. They are great. And I bought a knockoff version where for like a quarter of the price, I got 3 pairs. And they're very good socks, almost as good as Darn Tough. Not as good, but they were, you know, a wool blend and all that. And so, I mean, those lasted me longer than my last pair of boots lasted me. The 3 pairs of socks that I got. So anyway, I might just spring. It's like $30 for 1 pair of socks. So I'll probably get 1 pair and then rotate. Or maybe there's another, like Wigwam is another good brand. So I have to go. There's a Big 5 sporting goods store in Newport, so I'll check that out. What else? Oh man, I have to make a list because I'm gonna forget. I need tent stakes, like I said, and I don't need a bigger tarp, but a bigger tarp would be better. And I'll show you guys in the future the way I set up to sleep at night. I want to be able to take that tarp and bring it over my head, and like I use my backpack as a pillow. I want to be able to tuck it under the backpack so that it can go over my head with some room to spare, so I could, like, you know, move my head around and stuff and not have the tarp right on my face. And then I would like it to cover my feet as well. It doesn't have to. The Gore-Tex bivy I mean, it's been holding up in the rain so far. But just to have that double layer protection across from head to toe would be great. And then 2 tent stakes to hold it down by my feet. So like I said, I'll show you the setup. It might sound a little confusing right now how I do it, but it's basically, you know, I mean, the way Marines sleep and the way soldiers sleep in the field. Like, you package your pillow, you pull your sleeping bag out, and you throw it down right on the ground. Except, you know, I use a sleeping mat, and I use a little more luxuries than they do. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna check my map, see how much longer I have to go. I guess I just gotta huff it. I got no choice. But, you know, it comes with the territory. Sometimes things just don't work out. But at least I'm a little protected from the wind. It may not sound like that, but the wind ain't bad here, even though I'm right on the coast. I just walked about 1.5 miles of really exposed road. It was right on the coast line. You see the start of it when I showed that log jam. So that was about 1.5 miles of just open coastline like that. And the winds were crazy. But a couple people honked at me, and it wasn't like, oh, you asshole kind of honk. It was like, hey, you know, like, go get it, buddy, kind of thing, you know, like, embrace the suck, I guess. All right, I just checked. It's not 3 miles, it's 4.4, almost 4.5 miles. It's okay though. Once I'm in town, I'm gonna stay there for at least a day. I mean, I have a lot of friends that I made there while I stayed. So it might be a couple days staying there. It all depends. But on the bright note, I just checked the weather, and it's supposed to be pretty nice for the next 4 or 5 days. Just like partly cloudy, only scattered showers. Nothing like this storm. So that's usually how it goes out here. You know, when you're hiking by out here, not just here. But usually you go through a day of hell, and then it's a bright sunshiny day the next day, and it just puts a great smile on your face and makes you appreciate it that much more. I mean, trust me, even though it kind of sucks, you know, they got that term in the military, embrace the suck, and that's what you got to do. But, you know, if you pass by me on the road, you would see me smacking my gum with a big smile on my face, looking up into the mountains while I walk down the road. Not even paying attention to the cars for the most part, you know, unless they get a little too close and I give them the death stare. Alright, my people, so, see the cars, can you? Well, I guess you, anyway, the road's over there. Cars are passing by. So I'm still about 3 miles out, and I did about 1.5 miles, and I was back on some exposed roadway again. But I came across this little area on this, off the side of the road, and it looks like somebody, I mean, it looks like a campsite. Like everything's kind of flattened down. Everything's kind of like beaten down a little bit, but so this might have been a campsite a long time ago, but there's a little bit of garbage, like some batteries around, little things thrown around, but I thought it was just a deer trail at first, but so if somebody comes through here, I don't know, probably not that often, it looks like. So anyway, I'm gonna crash here. It's only like 4 p.m., but I woke up at like 3:30, and I've been hiking all day, and I figured, you know, my body's telling me to stop, so I'm just gonna lay my pack right there. That garbage was not mine, just for the record. And then there's this cool little hole here. Something is making a, I checked, it doesn't keep going, it stops. There's garbage in there too. I don't know if somebody threw it there or the animal brought it there, but I mean, some almonds and pineapples, packages for that, I don't know. I would like to think a hiker wouldn't do that, but you never know. So anyway, I'm done. I'm done for the day. So I'm just gonna save it for tomorrow. After thinking about it for a while, walking in the rain, I figured that I might as well not. I'm gonna make do with everything I have. So I'm gonna try to buy as little as possible. I will buy the insoles if I can find the right ones. But I mean, my foot feels okay. Like, there's just a hot spot. It's not a blister. So if I get the insoles, that should fix it. And there's a place where I could get free socks, which are, you know, regular cotton socks. I could get some, hopefully we'll find synthetic. Sometimes you can find synthetic, which dries quicker. But either way, I can get some fresh socks in town for free. So, you know, I'll see how I feel after that. I'll try to find the right insoles and then take it from there. But oh, there's another thing that happened. That last night, I guess while I was laying down on my pack, I put my elbow down the wrong way, and I wasn't, since I'm new to doing it this way. I mean, I've done it a lot before, it's never happened. But I must have cracked this piece here. So, you know, the female end that buckles in. So luckily I have paracord, and I just made a little, you know, loophole there. I could feed it through and tie it. So that fixed. There's a couple other places on my pack that are fixed with paracord. So, you know, it is what it is. It's an older pack. It's starting to get old. It's over 2 years old now. So it's to be expected. And I was just thinking that I might want to get a smaller pack. But, I mean, I'll ride this thing until it totally falls apart. Because I don't have the money to just replace gear. The little money I have to save to try to, you know, to try to live. But anyway, yeah, this is the end of my hike for now. But I'll probably get up before the sunrise, or maybe even in the middle of the night, because the wind and the rain is supposed to stop around 4 a.m., I believe. So I'll just, you know, do the last 3 miles tomorrow when I wake up, or tonight, whenever it is. And it should feel real easy, you know, on fresh feet. But my body's telling me to stop, and I should listen. Like, I feel good, but sore, you know. It's the best way I can explain it. Alright, my peoples, what's going on? Whew. I'm soaking wet. Everything's wet. It's just the reality of, you know, hiking in the rain. You can stay dry for a little while, but if you're really going to be out there, you know, hiking full time, you're going to get wet. Even if you have the best, you know, $200 rain suit, rain top and rain pants, $100 a piece, it's going to fail eventually. Gore-Tex fails. Even these things, they fail. Eventually water starts getting in, and you know, this is the best thing actually, because it's plastic. You know it's not gonna seep water through it, but you still get wet anyway, because you know, you're sweating. I think the only dry part is, you know, my shoulders and my, you know, the core, which is what's important. But and even that's not dry, it's just less wet. But anyway, yeah, it's the reality of it. I mean, you could do all you can to stay dry, short of finding shelter. So anyway, I woke up around 9 p.m. It's about 11:30 now, and I'm just outside of Newport. I'm just about to hit the town, but I saw this nice overhang, and I said, let me sit here and wait until the rain is supposed to stop in about an hour or two. And it's supposed to stop for the next few days, which is awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I want to show you this here. Hold up. So across the street here is a little public restroom, because there's a park over there. It's like a little viewpoint. And this is like, oh, come on with this thing. All right. It's one of the best, like, restrooms I've seen. It has showers. I guess there's beach access over there, so it has, like, you know, outdoor beach showers, and then it has a little water spout to refill your water. I think it's technically meant for dogs, to, like, I guess fill your dog bowl, but hey, water's water. If not, I would take it out of the shower head anyway if I needed it. And then there's 2 changing rooms and 2 bathrooms, so it would be nice to get in there, but it's locked because it's, you know, after hours. But the showers are open. You know, you could probably sneak in there late at night and take a shower. because I'm just realizing that the showers might be shut down at this place in Newport because of coronavirus. But I mean, during the beginning of the pandemic, last time I was in Newport, they were still running their showers. So we'll see. But if not, maybe I'll come back here at night. But obviously it's outdoors, it'll be cold. But anyway, yeah, I'll be in Newport soon. I'm just gonna hang out here until authorities make me move or until the rain stops. Police will roll up and you know, just kind of see who you are, see what you're doing, ask you a couple questions. Sometimes they ask for your ID, not always, or they'll just ask for your name sometimes. But once they realize you're just, you know, a normal person, don't mean any harm, and especially when you're just seeking shelter, they usually kind of just turn a blind eye to that, even if you're in the front of a business. But that all depends on your demeanor and the way you talk to them. Because, I mean, I've been with other people, and we were, like, hanging out under here trying to stay dry, and they had the wrong attitude. And, you know, if you act like the cop is your enemy right off the bat, then they're going to act like your enemy. But anyway, yep, hanging out here. There's also plugs here. Right over here. Oh, see, right there. There's actually some plugs there. This is actually a great... And when I say, I've said it a few times, like, there's a spot with resources. This is what I mean by resources. Things like bathrooms, showers, electricity that's open to use, shelter that's, you know, you don't have to set up yourself. That's what I mean by resources for the most part. Or places like the place in Newport that does the showers, where you could get clean socks and underwear, get clothes and a meal, and, you know, things that are there to help people that just don't have the means to help themselves sometimes. But anyway, I've rambled long enough. So I made it to Newport, and it was well, if you can see, we got blue skies. The rain finally broke. It was raining for what, almost 3 days straight since I started. As soon as I got off the bus, it was raining, and there was only a couple of maybe hour-long breaks in the rain, maybe a little longer, but for the past 3 days. So I'm beat, but I wanted to show you this. Look at my foot. Now, it just needs to dry. It's just because my foot has been wet for so long. Oh my god, it looks so weird. Still got fuzz from my socks. But that's crazy. I've had it look like this before, but not often. And if you look at my shoe, I don't know if it's coming out on camera or not, but my shoe is steaming just from the heat of my foot. So I went into Walmart and I found these socks on clearance, and it's 6 pairs, but it looks like they'll do the job. But for $5, 6 pairs of nice boot socks. So they look like they'll work for me, because what was happening, I thought I was getting a blister, but the socks that I had, the seam at the toe, the stitch at the seam was like rubbing at the top of my foot, and that was causing some irritation, basically only on this foot, on my left foot. And I still have kind of the hot spot on my one pinky toe, but I also got these. One second. So I got these insoles. These were about $8. They're much thicker than the insoles I had, but not too thick, because I was worried about getting them. They had ones that were really like memory foam pillows almost, but I was worried about them taking up too much space in my shoe. So I'm about to pop those in, and I'm gonna put a fresh pair of socks on and let my feet dry out of my shoes and let this go away. And then I'm gonna go to the laundromat, do laundry, and then I'm gonna try to see some people I know here that, you know, they really made an impression on me last time I was here. There's a couple of good people here that I met, And then tomorrow I'll try to catch a shower. It's probably, well, it's still early today, so I might be able to catch a shower. But I really want to clean my clothes first. It sounds weird, but I'd rather have the clean clothes first and then go and take a shower and put the clean clothes, even though I gotta wear them because I only have one set of clothes. But I also got these. I got a new set of underwear. I had a set that was fairly new, but they weren't, there's your foot fetish people, you can look at my feet. I have these same type of underwear, but I have them a size smaller, and I wasn't like able to pull the legs up far enough, and I started getting chafing, you know, because I'm a big boy, and big boys' thighs rub together, and big girls too. So my thighs were rubbing, and I got a little bit of chafing, and I was trying to fix it in the middle of hiking, and I couldn't even pull my underwear up to the appropriate height because my legs are too fat. So I was like, well, you know, probably in only a couple weeks that problem would be solved and I would fit into those underwear better. But, you know, I have to be able to hike in the meantime, so I had to get ones that fit me properly. So other than that, I also got some tent stakes so I could set my tarp up a little better in the rain. I didn't get a bigger tarp, or I forgot what else I said I might get, but I didn't end up getting that stuff. So I'm going to try to just conserve the little bit of money I have as long as I can, because I want to be able to keep hiking. I really do. I want to be able to do this. And, you know, I want to be able to say when I stop. I don't want money to be the reason why I stop. Because, like I said, last time on the Appalachian Trail, I was really bummed out that I had to stop just because I was out of funds. And I felt so good. Like, I just wanted to keep going so bad. Like, I remember, like, the waist belt on my pack was, you know, I was able to cinch it down more and more. And by the time I left the trail, I was like, I wanted to keep working on that. You know what I mean? I was burning fat, and I was in a good space to do that. But anyway, that's the goal. Yeah, so I'll work on editing while I'm doing laundry, and, you know, I'll be spending a day or two here, and then maybe I'll just catch up when we move on. If something interesting happens, then I'll let you guys in on it. Alright, well, here's my other foot. Let's see. Just want to show y'all. See, right here is where the sock was rubbing on these two toes. And then I have a little bit of a blister here. I just popped it some. Oh, sorry. I want to show you all this. Here's the insole. So this is why I had a blister. It looks weird, but this is where my pinky toe rests. And then my other toe. So there was a flap of fabric hanging there, just kind of bunching up and rubbing against my toe. So I ended up cutting out this patch here just to get rid of that excess. And then, but as you could tell, I guess I walk all lopsided because, I mean, this was always the case for me. And everybody, you know, nobody has perfect symmetry when they walk. But obviously I put a lot more pressure on my left foot as I'm walking than I do on my right. This is like the load-bearing, my load-bearing foot, I guess. But it has to do with that I once broke my foot in my 20s. And luckily it was when I was in good shape and running all the time. But it wasn't even a break really either. It was more of like a, what do they call that? When you dislocate bones. So I dislocated two metatarsals right here. As you can see, there's still a little bump there. But at one point, after it first happened, like, I had a huge bump. You could tell there was two distinct metatarsals. So over the years, they kind of set themselves back into place. But even before that, I kind of had weird feet anyway. But what's funny is, actually when I started doing opiates, those bones actually started going back into place. So I'm not championing, the use of opiates, but I think it has something to do with, being able to, the muscles relax or something. Like, I mean, maybe that's just coincidence too, but it's, I mean, as soon as I started doing them heavily, like, I mean, that's kind of why I got started, because, I was offered some painkillers when I first broke my foot, not by a doctor, by a friend. So I self-medicated. And then I used to have a job where I was pet sitting in people's houses, and I mean, I hate to say it, but it happens, they'd always have medicine in their medicine cabinets. So once in a while I would take one or two, and it was strictly recreational at first. And then I kind of let it go for a couple years, and then I got really heavy into the heavy pain medication, like the big boy stuff. And after that, it was all downhill. But when I started on that big boy stuff, that's when my foot started actually, like, the pain started going away more. Obviously, they're painkillers, but also those bones started setting in back into place where they should be. And like I said, I mean, there's still a little bit of a bump here that I don't have on the other side, but I mean, it's better than it was for sure. I mean, and that was a crazy experience. I mean, I had a lot of pain, while I was healing from that injury, and that's why I stopped running, because after that I tried to get back into it. It took about 2 months before I could even start walking again, walking normally for exercise. And instead of going to a doctor like an idiot, even though I had great health insurance, I was working for pharmaceutical companies, I didn't go see a doctor when it happened, and I just walked it off. And it was like the sharpest pain in my life. Like, I just got up and walked it off like an idiot, trying to be cool. And I paid the price, I guess. But all in all, I mean, thank God I can still walk. But like I said, I'm just had some lunch here. I couldn't finish it. I'm gonna try to save it, but who knows? I'm stuffed now. Had that sub and some coleslaw, and had some nacho cheese chips, and I got some couscous. Couscous is good for cold soaking. Where is it? This soaks really quickly when you cold soak. So just some couscous and what is this? I got junk all over it. It's couscous and some chicken. So that's a big meal for later when I need it, when I hit the trail again. And gotta have my coffee. This is dehydrated coffee. This one tastes the best. It tastes like real coffee. And the only other one I would buy is the the Taster's Choice Colombian. The other Taster's Choice brands, I wouldn't try. I wouldn't bother, but the Colombian one is good. And don't go for the Great Value Colombian. Oh, God. There's some weird chemical aftertaste to that stuff. Don't ask me. One last thing I wanted to add. This spot is where I shot the footage of that snail. And I forget the name of the video in that one, but once again, if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go watch it. I was looking at my face, and like, oh, I had all this like dead skin, like chapped. My face is chapped. That's the word for it. So it looked like, ugh. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, what's going on with me? And I'm like, maybe my body's detoxifying. I was thinking about it, and then I realized that's windburn. I was getting windburn. So if you don't think that storm that I just hiked through for the past 2 days was bad, it was a windy, bad storm. Like, I mean, luckily, like I said, something like that, when you choose to hike through it, most hikers will get a hotel room and sit something like that out. And shoot, if I had the resources too, I probably would do the same. But I didn't realize the storm was coming. I just chose to leave when I chose to leave, and it just happened to be a storm the next day. So, but now I can see too, I have like redness. Anyway, it is what it is. But so yeah, I mean, I was kind of like beating myself up. I'm like, it was only like 27, 28 miles. I should have been able to knock that out quicker. But then I realized, like, that was a pretty, it was a pretty crazy storm. Like, you have to stop, even if you're not that tired. You have to stop just for morale's sake, because, you know, I would, when it started getting really bad, I would, you know, duck under my tarp and sit it out so I didn't want to get soaked to the bone. You can't just keep on trucking through it, or you won't, you know, you'll get into an emergency situation. And I was almost on the edge. I was on the edge of emergency last night. I mean, I was warm, but I was so wet. I was just miserable. Like, if, let's say I had chosen to bring my lighter sleeping bag, I would have been in trouble. So it's a good thing I brought my heavier one. And it's a good thing I kept my vest, because that vest got me through last night for sure. Because I needed it while I was hiking, because I was soaked through at that point. Like I said, after 2 straight days of wind and rain, like, it doesn't matter what your setup is, like, you're gonna get wet. And if you don't stop and take those breaks and sit out the heavier parts of the storm like that and only move during the lighter parts, you'll get soaked through quickly. And I mean, it took those 2 full days, and that's why I have to go to the laundromat. My sleeping bag is totally soaked. But it still kept me warm, and, you know, warm enough to sleep for 4 hours or so. And I wore, when I was sitting at that overhang last night, when I got to that the place where the restrooms were and the showers, I got in my bag there for a few hours because it was starting to get really cold, and that's when it was really starting to get critical. And I thought to myself, like, if I didn't find that overhang, I mean, I would have been okay. I would have just kept walking, because you always have the choice to walk to keep warm. You know, and as long as you're walking, you'll keep warm. But you know, if I didn't find that place to rest, I would have ended up here, and there's no shelter here. I knew that already, and there's no shelter in front of the building. And I still had about 2 or 3 hours of rain left before it stopped. So I hung out under the shelter, under that overhang with my sleeping bag, and it dried out about maybe halfway. But as it dried out, it kept me even warmer. So anyway, I have to go dry my bag and wash everything. So that was one other thing I bought. Oh, just these. It's just a good tip for if you're hiking. These Tide things. Don't buy your detergent at the laundromat. They charge an arm and a leg. They charge like $3 just for one use of detergent. So I usually try to find the Walmart or supermarkets usually carry these, and they're usually like $1. So it's just a little tip to save a little money when traveling like this. 2 quick things I want to add before I pack up. Well, I'm about half packed up now, but I didn't realize it until last night when it wasn't too late, but it was when it was starting to get bad, the pain in my toe from the seam rubbing. A trick that you can do if the seam is bothering you while you're hiking on your sock is to turn your socks inside out, because usually this side is a lot smoother than the inner part. But these socks, there's still a seam here, but it's not like those other socks. It was like almost like plastic feeling. It felt like almost like it was melted, and there was like that hard melted plastic feel to it. But so it was a really rough seam. So that's what I get for getting free socks from. Also, yeah, let me slide over so you can see. I have this is a larger sleeping pad that someone just happened to give me. That guy Redneck gave it to me right before I left. So it's a little bit bigger, but I still have the other sleeping pad. And as you can see, I tied it to the tree there because there's sticky sap. And I don't know how many times I've put my back against the tree and got up and there was sticky sap all over my clothes. And then all kinds of pine needles and stuff stick to that. And it's real annoying. So it's also good to keep your back warm. So, you know, that's why I always carry a length of paracord that's big enough to, you know, either wrap around me or wrap around a tree or There's a whole lot of things you could do with it. Alright, my people, so here I am at my old campsite in Newport. And if you haven't seen video, I've come here before. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Anyway, so I cannot believe that the little bench that I made here at the base of this tree is still here. Even after someone else took this site over, and I told you they leveled this off and put a tent here and they trashed the place, and then the cops kicked them out. Meanwhile, I've been staying here on and off all this time, and like those guys that were down the hill down here, they had a tent and trash there. They moved in after me because I used to actually camp down there, and then one day I came in for the night and there was a tent there. I was like, oh, someone took it. So I was like, oh, you guys stay, there's no flat land, and I used a hammock. So I told them, just stay there and I'll go up the hill. So I came up to this spot. And then eventually, you know, I left for a little while, and then some friends of theirs came and took over this spot. But anyway, they're all gone now because they made a big mess and brought the attention of the police or whoever, landowners. And now they're gone, and it's my spot again. So that's the point. Like, homelessness wouldn't be such a big deal if homeless people didn't trash places so much. Like, I don't understand it. And like, I'm not trying to bash anybody, but it's my experience has shown that, you know, a lot of the people that live out here, they get into a lazy mode and they just leave trash, and they don't take care of their stuff. Or so I mean, people do that with houses too. I don't know how many houses I've been in that the house is trashed, and you know, people just some people just are lazy, they just don't want to do it. I don't know what it is. So everybody's different though. But yeah, so let me turn you back around. So in retrospect, you know, with all the rain that I just hiked through, I probably should have hung my hammock. Because when you're hanging a hammock, and as you can see, only a hiker would take a $200 piece of gear and immediately burn a hole in the end of it, you know, to suit their needs. But I mean, I didn't pay for this anyway. I got it used for free. But even if I had paid for it, I probably would do that anyway. So I got all my stuff, and I didn't end up going to the laundromat. Well, I did go to the laundromat, but when I got there, there was no attendant working. It was just like a self-running place, and they had the bathroom closed with the sign claiming it was out of order. So I was trying to look for somebody that worked there and to be like, look, can I just change in there? I need somewhere to change because these are my only clothes. And I mean, all the laundromats I've been to, especially on trails and stuff, they all have a bathroom that you could change in and, you know, use the bathroom while you're waiting. But I guess because of the homeless population, they close the bathrooms, and that's been happening more and more everywhere. You know, any bathroom that's public ends up getting closed because somebody shits it up or plugs it up or whatever. So I went down the street to another laundromat, and it was the same thing. Nobody working there, and a closed off bathroom. Even though it says bathroom for customers, but it was locked and nobody's working. So it's like, where the heck am I supposed to change? So I was kind of PO'd about that. So I was like, you know, I'm not even doing laundry. So I just made my way. I saw some friends that, you know, walking through town, and then I made my way to the campsite here because in here, this is the extra socks. I'm only gonna take 2 pairs of those socks that I bought, and the extra underwear is 1 extra pair of the 3X, the bigger size, and 1 pair of the 2X, which is the ones I had that were too small. So the 3X are working much better. I can put them on properly, and it stops, you know, the chafing issues. So, and also, you know, after walking around a little bit yesterday, my feet feel good, the insoles are working well, and the socks feel good. So I'm gonna stash this. This is wrapped in two different Ziploc bags. So if water breaches it, it'll be all right. even, you know, they'll just be a little wet, but it'll protect it from bugs, hopefully, and all that. So I'm going to stash that really well somewhere in this site. That way I could come back to it when I need it, because I'm not going to carry 6 pairs of socks, and that would be 4 pairs of underwear. That's just ridiculous. So I'm just going to carry 1 pair of extra underwear and 1 extra pair of socks. That way, you know, I could rotate through them. So I haven't showered yet. I'm gonna try to go to there's like a little day shelter that has showers. The local home bums told me that it's still operational, which is good. So I'm gonna try to do that today and do laundry there as well. So I'm also that laundry detergent, I'm gonna stash that in here too, because obviously I didn't use it because I didn't go to the laundromat. And they provide the detergent at this place. So, you know, I could just hike on, but I have a little mailbox at this place too. I gotta check my mail and do a couple more things in town. And I want to finish editing. I just sat here all morning and I was editing the second video of this journey. So I just uploaded it. But I still have like 2 videos worth of stuff to edit. So I want to try to do that before I leave town. And there's some other things I have to do. I want to see about changing my license over. I still have a New Jersey license, and since I have a mailbox here in this town, I'm going to try to change my license to this town. So I may not actually get it done, but I'm going to see what it's going to take exactly. So, because I hear you have to make an appointment or something with the DMV, so I'm just avoiding that. But my license doesn't expire until September of 2021, so I have some time. Other than that, yeah, you know, my clothes, I actually don't need to do laundry. I mean, my clothes smell, but, you know, I'm hiking. They're going to smell anyway in 2 days, no time anyway. But they kind of have a strange smell. Like, I got in my sleeping bag and I was like, I smell, but it's not bad. It's weird. It's almost like if you've ever taken clothes and dipped them in a swimming pool and then let them dry. It's that smell, kind of. So it's like funky but weird, but it's not all that bad either. But, you know, I'm sure somebody else smelling it would beg to differ. You know, it's always good to have a way to just crash out on the ground, especially when it's not raining so much. But, you know, in hindsight, I really should have taken the time to set up my hammock during the storm when I was hiking the past couple days. Because even when you're wet, you know, it's a little colder, especially when the bag is wet. But, you know, you have air circulation all around. Like, when you wake up in the rain, like, the bottom of your bag is wet because it's against the ground and that has no way to evaporate. So last night the bag was still pretty much, you know, it was damp all the way through. It wasn't soaking wet. And it dried out in no time once I hung it up. And I let it hang for about an hour before I got into it. But it was still wet when I got into it too. But your body heat, you know, combined with the air circulation, once your body heat is in there, it'll dry everything out. Like, if you wear all of your clothes and everything that's wet, and you get in the thing and you sleep, and by the time you wake up, everything is bone dry. So, lesson learned. Next time if it's gonna rain like that again. But, you know, when you're on the move, sorry, I had my finger in the way. When you're on the move, you know, it's better to just crash on the ground, especially if you're sleeping the way I do on kind of private property sometimes. And but, you know, nobody's the wiser when you come in after dark and you just crash out on the ground for 4 or 5 hours. Like, that's what I do when I'm moving. I just get some rest, enough to keep on hiking, and then to get to a place where I know I can, you know, hang out for at least a half a day or 2 days, whatever it is, and recuperate and regroup. So anyway, what I have to do is, you know, I got the tent stakes, which I probably still will need them, but it would kind of stink if I don't need them after all this. But I'm still going to be sleeping on the ground. And rain, I mean, I've come up with a little slogan for Oregon, because it seems that in Oregon, in the winter especially, the chance of rain is yes, all the time. So I'm gonna figure out a way to, that way I can have two ways to set up. Obviously I'll set up with this tarp, and then I have a fly for this hammock, but it kind of snapped in the last windstorm that I rode through with it, and it's fixed. I kind of like tied a knot and redid the cord, and it works fine, but I left that behind in exchange for this tarp, which is lighter and doesn't require all the strings and stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna figure out a way to take this tarp and kind of make like a taco wrap. It's gonna look like a, you know, I want to bend it over the top in the middle and then tie it together. That way, you know, it's not ideal because it all depends on the way you camp. Like, after all the years of me hiking and camping, like, there's a difference between having base camps and having mobile camps and having just 2-day camps. So, you know, yes, it's ideal to have a tarp strung up over you so that, you know, the tarp doesn't touch your head and like there's no transfer of dew to your clothes and all that. But is all that really necessary? No. I mean, especially when you're on the move. So I'm gonna make it so that I could just slide the tarp up and then slide my bag down like I always do. And then I have the pack liner has a hole in the bottom also, and that fits over the foot of my bag. And I believe I've shown that in other videos. So that way I can, you know, kind of separate it in the middle, and then I'll get in, slide the bag over, make sure that's all set, and then slide the tarp over this way. And it'll probably not come all the way past my feet, but I mean, I've tested the garbage bag situation on the foot of that before, and it works really well in the rain. I got through all last winter with that kind of setup. So the only difference really is that instead of having the rain fly over me, you know, because the rain fly I had was too short also, it wouldn't cover the foot of my bag. So I didn't even have the Gore-Tex then either. I was just putting my sleeping bag and then the garbage bag and then the rain fly over my top, you know, 3/4. So it should work. So, you know, you still get, especially when you get in wet, tarps will always collect the dew and all the steam coming off your body. So it's kind of annoying when you have to touch that, you know, and it touches your head when you move. But with the hammock, you're kind of centered in the middle of it all, so you're not touching anything until it's time to get up and get out. And I don't do anything other than sleep in here, really. You know, even when it's raining, when I'm ready to get up, you know, I get up and it's time to get out in the rain. And once you get out, yeah, boo-hoo, some raindrops are going to fall on your head for a couple minutes until you get your poncho on. But you're up, you know. I mean, those couple seconds of rain falling on your bag, that dries off really quickly with this type of gear. The only time you're in trouble is when it gets soaking wet. So it's more of a mental thing. It's like you just suck it up, and yeah, it sucks. It's like, oh, I'm getting rained on, but it's really not a huge deal, and especially if you have the poncho and stuff. So even when it's raining hard, you know, I mean, you saw in the other clips of my videos, I'll take the poncho and wear it, and you could sit down and you could drape the poncho all around your knees and kind of fetal position in the poncho, and you could sit out a rainstorm like that and stay absolutely dry. And I've done it many times. So, I mean, you saw in my other clips, I had like the phone under the poncho just to make a quick video. But, you know, if I want to stop and rest and it's raining, you know, you could stop and still watch videos on your phone or manipulate the phone, and you know it's not getting wet because you're doing it all under the poncho. And then if it's really bad, like I just did in a couple of clips ago, not only do I have the poncho on, but I throw that thing over me also. And that's kind of a double protection thing, gives you more space to kind of hang out while you're waiting for the rain. But anyway, yeah, this clip is long enough. I think that's everything I wanted to say. If I think of something else, I'll come back. All right, everybody relax. This is not the pack video, although I am going to do a new pack video eventually. Not today, though, because I have stuff I got to do. I was just packing up. I got to get out of here, but I was going to stash this, as I mentioned. I'll be stashing my extra stuff. So I wrote on there. So this is going to be hidden somewhere really well. And if somebody comes across it and they decide they need it and it's not here when I come back, well, whatever. So another thing, I'm going to do this to save even more weight on my pack. Since my pack is lighter, I don't really need the hip belt. It's nice to have once in a while, but this is something I've done in the past to lighten this pack also. But I mean, it takes off quite a bit for the pack. And so I'll be leaving these aluminum stays, which is the frame, and the hip belt with its buckle and all that. That probably saves a pound right there or more. And then I'll just be using this, since I'm carrying the 2 pieces of foam pad. I used to just carry that, but then this was offered to me for free, and I said, it's a Thermarest? Heck yeah, I'll take it. And I was thinking it's better to use these in combination when you're lying on the ground. This one I'll put under my hip now. And like I said, it'll work just using this. It works just fine. You know, you might have a little cold spot and hold on, it's a large truck passing. So you might have a little cold spot, or, you know, when you're tossing and turning, like I like to sleep on my side and I switch sides all the time. So it's a pain to try to make sure that that thing stays under your hip, but it's doable. So now, you know, I'll sit on this, and then this I'll put, you know, in my pack, because I use my pack as my pillow / upper torso insulation, and it works just that much better. Plus it's better in the hammock too, which I'll show you in the future. I'll show you how exactly I sleep in the hammock, but I actually don't. A lot of times I'll turn the bags upside down so that the hood part is over my face, and I could tuck it in and kind of create, you know, a buffer for the wind and stuff. And you put that over your head and you stay nice and cozy warm, because if you put that under there, it'll stop any draft or cold in the gap that's created on the back side of you. So anyway, that's for a future video. What else was I gonna say? So yeah, this is gonna get stashed also, and I've actually stashed these items in this very spot before. Another thing I wanted to note is about my toothbrush setup. It's a nice way to cut weight down. Some people, if you want to take it further, they'll cut the handle off of their toothbrush and make it just big enough to. But this toothbrush is kind of short to begin with, so I think that's fine. But what I do, and when I showed it in the pack video, I showed you the pack and it had the full tube of toothpaste in there. But you know, there's no point in carrying, like, a tube of toothpaste lasts me months, like a full-size one. And you don't want to buy the small ones because they overcharge, you know. So as is the case with all my stuff, it's held together with the rubber band. So you just take, you know, however you think you'll need, however much toothpaste, and you squeeze it into the corner of the bag, and then you fold it up nice and neat. And you know, it gets messy over time, but that way, like, this is, compared to a tube of toothpaste, this is nothing. And so it saves you a lot of weight there. And you don't have to buy toothpaste either, because you always come across toothpaste out there. You know, if you stay in hostels, especially on the AT or in hiker boxes, you'll find tubes of toothpaste that people ditched. And I don't know, I mean, I'm a full-on hobo at this point, so I don't care. I'll use it. Some people might think it's gross to just take toothpaste from that, but even still, you could buy the smaller bottles if you want to spend the money on that, and squeeze that smaller bottle into here, and that's a lot less weight than the bottle, because the weight of the bottle is like, why are you carrying? That's one thing to cut weight in the pack. You know, you got to ask, why am I carrying this? Like, even if it's a container for something, like, how much does it weigh compared to what's in it, and can I eliminate that? And gallon Ziploc bags and rubber bands are a hiker's best friend, in my opinion. So I don't think I finished my point about this piece. So this piece I will be using and stuffing on the inside of my pack. I used to stuff it on the outside, you know, in between the liner and the outside of the pack. But this, I'll put it on the back side of the pack now, and that'll kind of act as a frame. So because there's less weight in the pack, I don't need a big sturdy frame, and it'll save more weight overall, and the pack will be more comfortable. And since I'm here, I might as well mention, I'm about to cut these off. Oh, I think I did mention that, yeah, I did mention that. So I think I'm gonna just cut the excess nylon since these are pretty much useless at this point. But I might keep them still, but we'll see. Because if I find a replacement for this, sorry, there's so many loud engines. So even if I find a replacement, I would have to take the stitching out and put it in again. So I don't know about all that. I think I'm just gonna keep it like this and just ride it until something breaks on it that I can't fix. And then, because I've already also stitched this pocket, ripped one time, so that's stitched. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I have no complaints, because I mean, this pack has been through hell and back with me, and it's held up very well. And some minor repairs, I mean, you're gonna have to do that with anything. So yeah, lightening the load more and more as I go. That's why I'm holding off. And once I get into full stride with hiking and my setup, I'll do another pack video where I break it all down and explain it all, and down to my knife and my clothing and everything, and how I set it up and sleep, the 2 different ways that I set it up and sleep. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Alright, pretty much packed up here. That's my trash. That's what I'm gonna stash. There's my pack, and oh, it's so light now. I'm loving it. But yeah, I was saying how I couldn't believe how my chair was still here. But what's even more amazing is that this stick, which I had left over here, was still here. So this stick, I have that little pop socket on the back of my phone, which is a great thing out here because you could use almost anything as a camera stand. So I was sticking it here. I was using it, you know, when I'm watching videos sitting down or doing whatever. I would pop my phone on that thing. And it's still there exactly where I left it. Oh yeah, I have to roll my tarp up, or my poncho, excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna stash this and get out of here, and see about a shower and all that in my mailbox. This is the front. It's a shower truck. This is Grace Winds here. Good resource, especially you know, if you're hiking through, if you need it. I haven't had a clean shower in much. I'm ashamed to say how long it's been since I've had a hot shower, I should say. It's crazy. But today I forgot that they only do laundry once a week, and it goes by your last name. And since my last name has an A, I have to wait till Monday to do laundry. Alright, my peoples. So, I just took care of everything I had to take care of. Eventually I'll have to go to the DMV, but I have to make an appointment for that. So, that can wait till a later date, because I will be back through here. But if you remember this spot, this is where I shot that video about when the protests for George Floyd were happening. Anyway, I think I'm gonna move on from this town. I thought I was gonna stay a couple days, but I've accomplished all my goals. I just went to the dollar store. I picked up some new shades, because my old shades were so old that they were getting rusty on the sides from being out in the rain and stuff. So I also got my favorite dollar store snacks, which is the chocolate covered graham crackers, which shout out to my aunt who turned me on to those. And the munchies, those munchies, it's called Party Mix over there. So it's got like pretzels, Doritos, Cheetos, all mixed up in one bag. So I also got a little lunch from that place, Grace Winds. So once I get over the bridge and get a couple miles in, I'll eat some lunch. So this is the bridge leading over the Yaquina Bay coming out of Newport. I believe I've shot it in the past. It's a pretty nice view. All things considered, I feel pretty good with the new insoles in my shoes. Haven't gotten some rest last night. Dried everything out. I'm chilling, so check back in an hour, see if that's still the case. But for now, feeling good. I'm gonna keep moving. I don't want to get stuck in any town right now, because I could easily get stuck in Newport the way I did in Salem. But you know, I have specific goals, and you know, trying to get the proper amount, more than trying to get enough exercise every day. There you go. So I'm gonna find a place to stop and eat, because my pack is all the weight that I saved in my pack. I added it right back with all this food. So, and I got a soda also as a treat. So, somewhere over the bridge, I know there's a lot of little parks and picnic tables and stuff. I'll stop somewhere, grab some lunch, and I checked the weather. It is supposed to rain tonight. Like I said, the chance of rain is yes. So, you can see the bay over there. I don't know how well. But anyway, spent plenty of time over there. It's time to move on. I'm